Welcome to the Midnight Library. I see you found your way here, despite the hour. Tell me, what time is it where you are? And where are you listening from?
I was only 8 when my grandma passed away. Truth is, I didn't know her that well. She lived far from us, and I'd only met her twice.
My memories of her were faint, just a kind smile, soft hands, the way she smelled faintly of roses. Everyone always said she was a good woman, but that night, after her funeral, I learned something I can never forget. My parents, my Uncle Matt, and I stayed in her house for one night, just to check on things before selling it. Grandma's house was big but old, the kind of place where the silence felt heavy. The walls had that faded wallpaper with floral prints, the kind that peeled slightly at the corners. The wooden floors creaked no matter how lightly you walked. And the smell. It was that mix of dust and old furniture, with something faintly sweet lingering in the air, almost like her perfume. That evening, Mom cooked dinner with whatever was left in the refrigerator. She decided on spaghetti. She said it would be enough since we were only staying for one night. I didn't complain. The dining table was vintage, dark wood, rectangular with 6 chairs. 4 along the short sides facing each other, and 2 along the longer sides. On one of those longer sides sat Grandma's chair, with a faded rose-colored back cushion. She always used that seat, Mom said. When we sat down, it was almost unnerving how quiet it was. No one talked. Only the faint clinking of forks against plates filled the room. Dad, Mom, and Uncle Matt sat across from each other at the short sides. I sat near Grandma's chair. And for some reason, I couldn't shake the feeling that someone was sitting there too, watching me. I knew it didn't make sense, but it was so strong. Like the cushion dipped slightly under invisible weight, like someone invisible was eating with us. The silence broke when Uncle Matt started coughing. At first it was small, but then it grew violent, like something was lodged in his throat. Mom and Dad rushed to hand him water, but even after drinking, he couldn't stop clearing his throat. Finally, pale and shaken, he pushed his plate aside. "Something doesn't feel right," he muttered, rubbing his neck. He excused himself to rest early. That left just the 3 of us at the table. The silence returned, heavier this time. Then it happened. Grandma's chair moved. It slid back suddenly, scraping against the floor as if someone invisible had stood up after finishing dinner. The 3 of us froze. Nobody said a word. But I know we all saw it. My fork slipped from my hand, and Mom's lips parted slightly, like she wanted to say something. But she didn't. We didn't eat another bite after that. One by one, we quietly retreated to our rooms. I refused to sleep alone. I went into Uncle Matt's room and climbed into his bed. He was already asleep, breathing heavily, maybe from the coughing earlier. The room was dark, but I knew from the scent and the closet full of old dresses that this used to be Grandma's room. I lay awake, staring at the ceiling. That's when I heard it. A soft knock from inside the wardrobe. At first I thought I imagined it, but then it came again, louder. A hollow thump, like knuckles rapping against wood from the inside. My chest tightened. I reached over and shook my uncle awake. He groaned, switched on the light, and opened the wardrobe. Inside, there was nothing but rows of Grandma's old clothes, dresses, shawls, a faint whiff of mothballs. "Nothing here," he whispered, trying to reassure me. But even when the lights went out again, I couldn't shake the uneasiness. Sometime around 2:30 a.m., I heard footsteps in the hallway. Slow, steady. I thought maybe it was Mom or Dad, so I slipped out of bed and peeked through the door. The hallway was empty, except for one door that was half open. Light spilled out, and I could hear the low murmur of a television. Curious and terrified, I crept closer and peeked inside. My heart nearly stopped. Sitting on the sofa was my grandma. Her back was to me, shoulders slightly hunched the way I remembered. She was watching the TV flickering gray and white static. She looked alive, too alive, but we had buried her just that morning. I stumbled back, covering my mouth so I wouldn't scream. I ran to the room, crawled under the blanket, and shook with fear. The door creaked open a few minutes later. Footsteps, slow, approaching the bed. I squeezed my eyes shut and prayed. The footsteps stopped by the wardrobe, and then I heard it creak open. I dared to peek through a small gap in the blanket. My stomach dropped. A hand. Just a hand, pale and wrinkled, searching through the clothes. The rest of the body wasn't there. Just the hand. I couldn't take it anymore. I screamed and bolted from the bed, running straight to my parents' room. I shook them awake, sobbing as I told them everything. Their faces went pale. They didn't argue. They didn't dismiss me. They just pulled me close, telling me it was okay, that I was safe now. I don't remember when I fell asleep, but I must have passed out in their bed. The next morning, we left the house as quickly as possible. I sat in the car, exhausted, staring back at the house one last time, and in the upstairs window, Grandma's window, she was there, smiling and waving goodbye.
Another chapter closed. Leave the candle lit in the comments and tell us what part of the story stayed with you.